Thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on this adorable Magnolia image called Watering Tilda. Isn't she cute? Love her. I will put a link down in the description box of the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. There are tons of other things in the store too besides card kits if you're not into that. So I've already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. For outlining today, I'm going to use BG Quadruple Zero and the Colorless Blender. And we're going to start down here at her pants. And I'm just going to go all the way around. And I want it to be a little bit wider today, so I'm going to squish it down just a little bit more. Go around this cute little pigtail. And down here. And for this water, I'm going to go ahead and go around these drops. I'm just going to swirl around here. And then we'll come over this way. And I'm going to go down the side of the hose. And then I want to do in here. That. And then I'm going to take my Colorless Blender and I want to soften that edge. So I'm just going to swirl around in a circle all the way across the BG Quadruple Zero onto her and then out here into my white space. Soften that up just a little bit. Let's give it a second swipe here. Let's do her skin next. For that, we're going to use 11, 21, 00, 000. And for her cheeks, I'm going to use RO2, 12, and 11. So let's start here on her hand. So I'm going to start with my E11. And let's do a little dab right along the bottom of this one and around her thumb. And over here, I'm going to do a little dab on her thumb. And then let's do right around that hose, up there a little bit on her arm. And then we're going to add E21. So I just want to brush over my E11 and bring it up just a little bit. And then we'll do E00. And then I'll go swipe over both hands with my E000. And let's go up here and we will do her neck and her face. So again, I'm going to start with my E11. And let's do a little dab here on her neck. And then our face, I want to go underneath these cute little bangs. And down this side just a little bit. I think I'll bring this side down just a little dab too. Okay, then I'm going to add E21. So let's add some to her neck. And then for her face, I want to bring this all the way around. And then when I get to the E21, I want to soften that. So I'm going to brush away just a little bit. And then I'm going to add E00. So again, I want to flick right into the middle. And I don't worry about it being blended because I'm going to add cheek color and then I'm going to go back and add a second coat. I'm going to fill in her neck right there. And then I'm going to add a little dab of my E000. Then Then I'm going to go with cheek color, so let's start with R02. And I want to do a little dab, and I use the little dots on her cheek as my guide. And then we're going to add a dab of R12. And then R11. And then I'm going to go with E00. Go right over the top of those cheeks. Same with this side. And then I'm going to go over the entire thing with my E000. So for her hair, let's use E27, 33, and 30. I'm going to start with my E27. And let's give each of these little cute pigtails a little dab away from that bow. And then let's go down here. Let's do this side over here first. So over here she's got a little bit of hair that looks like it's curling where it's pulled back. So I'm going to do my little E27 in there. And then I want to do a tiny dab away from the roots of her part here. And then for her bangs, let's do a few little streaks coming down from that. So let's do and I also want to do a little dab on this side because she's got quite a bit of hair showing where this pigtail is. So let's do a little dab coming away from that hair bow on this side. And I'm going to add E33. So let's add a little dab up here to our pigtails. And then her bangs. Let's do a little dab more right in here. And then we're going to add E30. And I probably should add a little bit of our E33 down here on these. Just a little bit. And then we'll go with our E30 again. Swipe some of that on there. Then let's add a little bit more E33 up here. I don't think I put any on right here. And then I'm going to add some dark back in. So let's grab our E27. And I think I'll add a little bit down here. And maybe a little bit up here. And then right here where it dips down behind. For her shirt, let's use R11, 30, and 000, and then for the flowers on the shirt, we're going to use R35 and G94. I'm going to start with my R11. Let's do a little dab on this sleeve over here next to the seam. And then we'll do our sleeve right here. And then back down this way. And I didn't worry about the flowers. I went ahead and just colored right over those because they're going to be red. So we don't have to worry about not being able to cover that up. And then we're going to go with R30. So a little dab over here. And then I'm going to fill in this shirt down here on the bottom. And then I'm going to take my R000 to finish the rest of the shirt. So let's do it over here before I forget. I think I'm going to give that a second coat. So let's grab R12 or R11 again. And then R30. And then our R000. Then let's grab R35 for the flowers. So they're pretty small. Well, there's a little bit of her shirt showing up here. Let's grab R11 and do just this little dab right here above her overall. She's got a little bit of her shirt showing. Okay, then R35. So I'm going to just color in the flowers. You just kind of dot my pen up and down a couple of times to fill in the little circle for the flower there. And then for the leaves, I'm going to use G94, and they're really small, so just kind of dab it a little bit. You could also use your Spigot glitter pen if you have that to color the little flowers in. I just went ahead and colored them this way and then later put some clear Spigot glitter pen over the top. For her pants and her hair bows, we're going to use B52, 21, 41, and 000. Let's start up here for her hair bows with B52. I'm going to go ahead and just cover up the little dot in the center. And then I want to give each little hair bow a little swipe of color right there towards the end. And then we're going to add B21. And then B41. And then I'm going to go over the whole thing with my B000. Then we'll go down here and do her pants. So again, start with your B52. And let's start up here above her shirt. And a little bit on her overalls here, or her strap. And then let's go down here underneath of her arm. And I'm going to go around the edge of the pocket. Down the leg of her pants. And then let's do inside this little pocket. And then around the edge of this one. And then we'll do the back of her leg. And we're going to add B21. So let's add a little dab up here. Just soften the edge of our last color. Work our way back down to the bottom. And I think I'll add a little bit of this down here to our pocket. So let's add some on that X. And then we'll add B41. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this front section in. And then I'm going to do this little strap so I don't have to worry about it. And then let's add a little bit down here. And then I want to go over the entire thing with my B000. For her boots, we're going to use E44, 43, and 42. Let's start with E44. And let's just give it a little bit along the edge of her sole there on that line. And then we want to go down right here. There's a little crease underneath her pants, down the back. But I'm just going to brush this out just a little bit so it's a little wider. And then I'm going to add E43. Bring this over just a little bit more. And then we'll fill it in with our E42. I think I'll make them a little bit darker, so let's do it the second time. So E44 first. And then E43. And then a second time with our E42. Let's do the water droplets next. For that, we're going to use BG01. I didn't do anything fancy. I'm just going to color them in. For the garden hose, we're going to use W7, 5, and 3. I'm going to start with my W7. And she's got a little bit of the hose showing right here between her finger. So I'm going to color that in. And then let's do a little bit right here. I'll bring that down a little bit. And then let's go over here on this side. Bring that up just a little bit more. And let's choose the little dots that are on the hose on this side. And then we're going to come along the bottom. I was all worried about this hose because it stops right here and my paper went out a bit further. So I took my Copic multiliner and I made the hose go out here. But then later I added a flower to the card and it covered it completely up almost. So depending on where you're going to put the flower, you may not need to extend that hose a little bit. So now we're going to go with W5. Since we're over here, let's go ahead and add a little bit to this section. And then lastly, we'll use our W3. Whoops. Just colored right over the side there. Let's see if I can take my colorless blender and push that back a little bit. Got crazy with my hose color. I'll let that dry and we'll add a little bit of the background color back on there. Now we're going to add some grass. So for that we're going to use G94, 43, and 61. But also I found this cute stamp set by Stampin' Bella if you're afraid of putting your own grass on there. It comes with some ground lines and these little spots of grass that you can add to your card so you don't have to worry about all that flicking. Kind of makes it nice and easy for you to put on there. And it's called Grass and Grounds. And you can find that in the store if you'd like to try that out. I'm going to try it out here pretty soon. So let's start with our ground here. So I'm going to start with my G94, and I want to do that underneath my girl. So let's bring it up on my hose up here a little bit. And we'll just bring it around over here. And over underneath it for boot. And then next to the hose over here. And then I'm going to add some G43. And I covered in the entire square on the bottom of my card. You don't have to do that. You can go as far out as you want. And then I added some YG61. Then I'm going to grab G94 again, and I want to darken this shadow up just a little bit underneath of my stuff. And then I'm going to use this to add some grass. So she's got a little bit of grass that's already back here. So I'm going to cover those. And then let's add a few over here. But you could use the stamp set and just put these little streaks of grass wherever you wanted, and then you don't have to worry about these cute little lines. And then I'm going to add a little bit of my G43 to these. And a little bit of our YG61. So there's our beautiful watering Tilda all colored up. Didn't she turn out cute? And then here is the finished card again. Go out. So I have added some Sharpie White paint pen to her cheeks there for some little dots. And then I put my Spica glitter pen in her hair, of course. And then I did the flowers on her shirt and these little water droplets here. She is popped up, and this little heart is popped up. And I could not resist. I seen this little die cut, the La La Land Crafts dies. It's called Build-A-Frame, and it's called Fancy. I use the small and the large, but I've seen it on a bunch of cards, and I had to order it because it was so cute, and I just love how that made my card look. It looks just awesome. Well, for me anyway. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.